trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening again. Our top story, with gas prices falling, you would think everyone would think it's a good thing.
That's right. However, if you live in the state of Alaska and your economy depends heavily on oil for its financial health, it's not such a rosy picture.
Today at the GML, UAF Chancellor Brian Rogers prepared the public for bad news with the potential loss of close to 250 university jobs this year.
Mike Schultz has that story.
When I asked Chancellor Roger how things were going before the meeting started, I knew by his tone it was not going to be a pleasant task addressing the group of business leaders. I wasn't wrong.
What I was really trying to do was to lay out what the impact of the oil price crash is on the University of Alaska Fairbanks. We're going to have to cut programs and services in order to reach the budget levels. We don't yet know exactly what those will be. Governor Walker will be making his decisions on the budget in the next month or so, the legislature in the coming months. But regardless of exactly what the decisions are, we know that we will have to operate with less money next year than we have this year.
The Chancellor spoke about the state legislature and how they would treat UAF when it came to allocation of funds.
I think that the university can be part of the solution, that in terms of diversifying the state's economy, we can make some of the difference for how we address overdependence on oil and gas revenues. Our legislators have been supportive. They've addressed our top needs in the past. We're all sort of scratching our heads, though, in terms of figuring out how we're going to address the magnitude of the problem.
The Chancellor went on to say that cuts in departments and personnel would be a necessity, and the process would be a very difficult one.
We'll be rolling those out over a period of time. In part, I really need to wait for the Board of Regents, the policy-setting body for the university. They meet next week and again in February. We need to see what the governor's budget actually is and then have a sense from the legislature where they're going to be.
Finally, the Chancellor wrapped it all up with one brief statement.
You know, ultimately, people think about budgets as numbers. Budgets are about values. It's about what do we care about as an institution.
Mike Schultz reporting.
A Fairbanks man accused of attempted murder will serve 2.5 years in jail as part of a plea deal with the state. 32-year-old Christopher Williams pleaded guilty this morning to a single count of misconduct involving a weapon in the second degree, which is a Class B felony. He also pleaded guilty to misdemeanor charges, including criminal trespass and reckless endangerment. Those were reduced from attempted murder and first-degree burglary. Court documents say Williams went to a Fairbanks residence angry over a bad check and brandished a firearm in the entryway. He then shot at the building from outside, shattering glass and leaving multiple bullet holes inside that had penetrated exterior walls. After his 2.5 years in jail are complete, Williams will also serve 5 years probation.
Not guilty pleas for a former Kobuk man accused of sexually assaulting an unidentified victim. 32-year-old Jason Guy Moyer is charged with 2 counts of first-degree sexual assault as well as third-degree felony assault. The alleged attack is said to have occurred in July of 2013, but a few other details were available. The indictment says Moyer had non-consensual sex with the victim. Moyer was reportedly living at the Fairbanks Rescue Mission when the incident occurred. Trial for his case will be held in March.
A bail proposal for the former Fort Wainwright soldier accused of multiple random armed robberies was denied this morning by a Superior Court judge. Keith Downing has been in jail since the 3 reported incidents. A judge said Downing was dangerous and said the victims were, quote, minding their own business when they were accosted at gunpoint, end quote. Fairbanks police say Downing robbed different pedestrians at gunpoint near a strip club on Rewack Drive. Victims of the robbery reported that 2 males pulled up in a vehicle driven by a third suspect, threatened them with firearms, and stole a wallet and a cell phone. The other 2 males have also been charged. Police found Downing's military dog tags at the scene of one of the robberies. They were then able to track him down and place him under arrest.
All right, when we come back, students at Ryan Middle School are taking on a project to comfort ailing veterans.
Also, our health report focuses on a physical technique that is quickly gaining popularity across the world with excellent results. Those stories are next. Stay.
Welcome back. A Fairbanks man accused of breaking into the vacant Tamarack Inn appeared in Fairbanks Superior Court this afternoon. 34-year-old Vitaly Gaivoronsky pleaded not guilty to more than 10 charges in front of Judge Bethany Harbison. Gaivoronsky is accused of breaking into the vacated motel and attempting to burglarize different rooms, including the office. Police say he kicked in doors and windows to rummage through the rooms and later attempted to flee the scene. The building was vacant because the owner failed to pay the electric bill. However, residents were allowed to leave their belongings after an emergency evacuation. Trial for Gaivoronsky is scheduled for March.
Not guilty pleas for two Huslia men accused of a New Year's Day beating. 27-year-old Aaron Kazefnikov and 28-year-old Floyd Vint Jr. face felony assault charges from the January 1st beating. Both appeared this afternoon in Fairbanks Superior Court. Court documents say the two attacked Arthur Roberts outside of the tribal hall during a New Year's celebration. The alleged victim was able to escape the initial beating, but he later returned with a gun. Witnesses say people at the party took the gun away from Roberts, but Kazefnikov and Vint continued to kick and stomp on him. Roberts was flown to Fairbanks and then medevaced to Anchorage for treatment of facial fractures and other injuries from the attack. Trial is set for March.
An advisory class of 7th and 8th graders spent their noon-hour session crafting tie blankets today. The project is meant to spur community involvement and promote teamwork. When Ryan Middle School teacher Stephanie Borrego attended a health educator meeting with the Greater Fairbanks Community Hospital Foundation, she learned of a service project that she felt would be great for her students. When U.S. military veterans enter the FMH Medical Hospice Program, they are presented a certificate of appreciation, a pair of pins, and a handmade blanket during a small ceremony. Now today, Mrs. Borrego's class assembled blankets destined for such veterans. The red, white, and blue material was supplied by Hospice Services, and the students worked in teams to fashion the blankets. It's a bit of a break from standard math, English, or science classes, and students learn the importance of community service by working to honor those who have served our country.
I'm really honored because there was someone who went out to war and done things I haven't. And so I made this blanket, and there's someone who's very sick and they have something I made, and it makes me feel important to history.
Absolutely, to give back to people who have protected our freedom and given us all the things that we have. That's tender to my heart. So I am grateful to be a part of a project that is giving back to the veterans. My husband is retired military, and I'm very grateful to be a part of this wonderful country.
Many Americans are working to get in shape in 2015. Fitness apps and 24-hour gyms are making it easier than ever to start. But new research shows why one ancient technique could be the best choice for physical activity. We have more now in this week's Health Report.
Inhale, halfway lift.
You may not think yoga is the way to jumpstart your body into a healthy year full of shredding pounds, but a new study suggests yoga is a great way to get in shape.
It is a New Year's resolution, and I think it's all part of trying to find a better way of balancing my life.
Calming, relaxing, sure, but it's not all mental. The study, published in the European Journal of Preventive Cardiology, found that compared to people who did not work out, people who practiced yoga showed significant improvement in heart rate, blood pressure, cholesterol, and BMI. As for weight loss, yoga worked just as well as cycling or brisk walking.
That's something that you can feel when you're doing the practice. So it's just nice to get that science behind it.
Instructors at Be the Change Yoga and Wellness have noticed great strides in students' strength and weight loss.
There's a lot of physicality and challenging physical exercise involved in yoga, especially these days.
Yoga made the list of top 10 fitness trends for 2015 in Shape magazine. Others include high-intensity interval training like CrossFit and personal training. Trainers in Los Gatos say whatever you do, get moving. Set small goals with realistic expectations.
We can get out and walk or hike or walk the dogs.
And whether it's yoga or another exercise, doing something can be a great way to start off the new year.
The Health Report is brought to you by the Ear, Nose, and Throat Clinic, located in the Medical Dental Arts Building. Call 456-7768.
Have you ever tried yoga?
No.
It's really good.
Is it?
It is. It's very relaxing, and it can tone you up really quick.
Well, I'll have to try it then.
Yep.
Oh, very good.
All right. Well, in other news, Joe Cook is up next with the Nana Corner and a recap from this weekend's high school sports.
That's right. Joe Cook after the break. Stay with us.
Hello, Interior Alaska. Joe Cook here with your Tuesday Sports. The women's basketball team is clicking right now. This week it doesn't get any better. They play the Seawolves this Saturday. Here's more in today's Nana Corner. UAF is coming off a road GNAC sweep for the first time since 2004 and just the second time in the GNAC era. In Saturday's 74-65 win over Western Oregon, Benisa Bulaya scored a season-high 21 points and was named GNAC Player of the Week.
The other team, actually, they gave me the lane a lot, which I was surprised. So it was really easy for me to get to the basket. I felt like I was really on. I felt like I can keep driving to the basket, and I was finishing my shot, so that was good for me.
The Nanook women are ranked 3rd in the conference and 9th in the Western region. Their 6-game win streak is tied for best in the GNAC. The team chemistry is definitely brewing.
Well, we built a lot of chemistry this season, I thought. We had a lot of returners this season and a lot of new players that really helped contribute to the team this season.
Saturday will be the toughest test to date. UAF will play the number 7 Seawolves in Anchorage. They've won 3 in a row and are the conference's top team with 1 loss. Alaska's focused on the game, not the hype of a rivalry where both teams are playing at a high level.
What we really want to achieve is not just to beat, UAA, but it's to beat SPU, it's to beat Western, it's to do things we've not done before.
We haven't really talked about it, honestly. We all know it's a big game, but we're just going in as another game. We got things to do, so we'll just see what happens.
Nanook Corner, brought to you by Sports Medicine Fairbanks.
We're going to transition on to high school sports. The Mount McKinley Bank Holiday Classic had its finale on Saturday night. Let's go to Boileau Hall for the highlights. The Monroe girls team used a big second half against Sohai to capture their 3rd win of the year. Haley Miller led Sohai with 21 points, but the Rams outscored the Stars 18-9 in the 3rd quarter. Andy Clark had a game-high 23 points, while Haley Michelle sparked the 3rd quarter with 6 of her 15 coming in the frame.
This is our first win in this tournament in 4 years. I think it's really exciting. Could have done it without our coaches, our whole team. It's a big effort.
The Colony girls won the title game 46-40 over K-High. Faith Ferris had a game-high 18 points for Colony in the win. In the boys' final, Monroe went up against Colony. The Rams got off to another great start thanks to an energized crowd. Monroe was up 8 at the break. The Knights were down just 5 in the 4th, but the Rams went on a 17-3 run and win the Mount McKinley Bank title 63-53 over the Knights. JT Mender hit some big shots. He had 14 points, and Mike Cluding had a game-high 24 points. Jalen McCullough was named tournament MVP.
I think this tournament was a confident booster and a statement builder. I just think we came out here, we handled our business, and we just did what we did, man.
After winning 3 straight games, winning the tournament, how do we handle success? And that's a challenge. Not every team can handle that. We get to find out now whether we can or can't.
And it's always great to do things with your best friend, catch a movie or go on a vacation together, etc. West Valley Juniors Ruthie Hebert and Danny Hornbuckle achieved career milestones on the same day. The best friends reached 1,000 career points on Saturday. Hebert reached the 1,000-point mark after a 38-point performance in a 67-42 win over the Palmer Moose in the Elks tournament title game. Hornbuckle was 48 points away. He scored 60 points in 2 games, including a 41-point game against the East in the Joe Floyd semis. The boys team beat Mount Edgecombe 72-57 for the Joe Floyd title. Hornbuckle and Hebert were named MVPs in their tournaments as well. Here are some other B-ball tournament results. Hebert, Amber Schmidt, and Carly Marquez were all Elks picks. North Pole Shane Hurst was also all Elks. The Lathrop girls took 3rd place in the Joe Floyd tournament, defeating Mount Edgecombe 63-60 Saturday. John Hadukovich was all Joe for Lathrop. Hornbuckle and Tyler Chrisman were all Joe for the Pack. And at the Diamond Prep Shootout, Jaden Whiteside scores a game-high 22 points as the Lathrop Malamutes, they win 56-50 over Kenai for 7th place. The Effie Cochran Warriors made it to the title game in the Tri-Valley tournament against Fort Yukon. They lost 67-72. In high school hockey, over the weekend, the West Valley Wolfpack faced the Diamond Lynx. No interior teams beat Diamond during the week, but they met their match on Saturday. The first period went scoreless, but the Wolfpack, they would score 3 in the second period, including what ended up being the game winner. Stash Skorowski to Zach Savoride, who gets it right past Chris Gardenline, the netminder for Diamond. Kill Simon, he made 33 saves for West Valley. And the Wolfpack, they win 3-2 over Diamond. They've won 3 straight games. In the high school wrestling on Saturday, South Anchorage won the John Tobin Invitational. The Wolverines, they won pretty handily with 205 points. Wasilla was second with 149, and North Pole, the host, They were third with 142. Lathrop was fourth at 107, and West Valley, they finished eighth in the 11-team field. Dew Rogers, he won the 138-pound title for the Pats. Cameron Frazier, he earned bronze in the 120-pound class. West Valley's Joe Frissalone won the 152-pound title. Lathrop had 4 wrestlers win silver medals. And that's it for sports tonight. Mike Schultz is next with your full weather forecast, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey guys, welcome back into the Fairbanks Evening News. Mike Schultz with you once again talking about the weather. We were expecting snow today, but you know what? That front just blew right on through us to the north, and they're looking at a little freezing rain and snow around the Fox area. But other than that, things look pretty good for tonight, just pretty quiet for the most part. Take a look at our photograph for tonight. Dixie Kyle sent this in. Another Fairbanks sunset. Once again, beautiful colors, the pinks and the oranges. And as always, if you have a photograph you want to share, please send it to me. Photos at ktvf11.com. We'll share it with the rest of the audience. Here's your numbers for today. 26 the high, right now 25, record low, 65 below. That might be the record, all-time record low in 1934, record high 34 in 1917. Sunrise and sunset over the 5-hour barrier, 5 hours and 3 minutes to be exact, a gain of 5 minutes. On the satellite radar, you can see that frontal system just kind of blowing through and just kind of losing its identity. It's no longer as strong as it was before. The flow is still coming out of the south and the southeast, so most of the Alaska Range blocking out most of the precipitation. What's going on across the rest of the state? Well, for the most part, it is still raining over southeast Alaska. Ketchikan at 47 degrees, Juneau 43, Kodiak some showers and 43, Anchorage also some rain and snow showers in 34. Along the Aleutian chain, cloudy skies at Cold Bay up and down the west coast. Another nice day at Nome, 29 degrees there. Still pretty chilly in Barrow, 17 degrees below zero and 4 below at Fort Yukon. The lower 48 weather, again, over the Pacific Northwest, we're looking at nice weather, 49 degrees at Seattle, nice up and down the west coast, and Denver up to right around freezing, 32 degrees, a little warmer in Minneapolis, 15. That's warmer than they have been for the last few weeks for the most part. Dallas, only 39 degrees there, 51 at New Orleans and sunny skies and some clouds around the New York area, 24 degrees there. On the satellite and radar, not a whole lot of organized systems to talk about. A little bit of pink showing some scattered snow showers at the higher elevations, and that is about it. Even on the west coast, things are looking pretty good. And the overall picture for tonight is calling for an icy mix all the way across much of the Virginias, the Carolinas, up into Washington, D.C. area, slippery roads, sidewalks, and even some travel delays. And the overall outlook for the jet stream, once again, pulling a lot of cold air down the eastern side of the lower 48 and then over the western side, looking at nice mild conditions all the way through the later part of this week. All right, back to Alaska for tomorrow. The northern sections mostly cloudy at Barrow, cloudy skies in Nome. A little snow is possible for Fort Yukon. Here in the interior, we'll be looking at, for the most part, cloudy skies, scattered flurries for Fairbanks and Delta. Some light snow is possible in the Healy area. Over southeast Alaska, the rains will continue. Rain could get heavy in Juneau, with rain scattered for the Ketchikan areas. And over the southwest part of the state, rain showers at Cold Bay, rain and snow in Bethel, and rain for Kodiak Island. And down around the Anchorage Bowl, once again, a little bit of a mix of weather going on there. We have partly cloudy skies at Anchorage, but rain showers for Homer and rain and snow in Valdez. Okay, time once again for our kids' weather. And all this week, we're talking with the kids from Salsha Elementary School. Tonight, here's a young lady interpreting another young lady's story.
One warm, sunny day in August, my best friend came over. After a while, she got very angry at a robber, and it started raining even though there was not a cloud in the sky. Snow, hail, and sleet, and all the other types of bad weather followed. Eventually, the robber got so scared that he ran away screaming that this place was haunted. Okay, said my friend, now we can play in peace.
All right, and tomorrow night we'll have a young man here talking to us with an interesting question for me. And again, as always, thanks to Mount McKinley Bank for sponsoring our kids' weather. Here's your forecast for the remainder of the night. Cloudy skies, a few flurries, and freezing rain from Fox northward. So out of the Fairbanks area, 7 degrees the overnight low. Tomorrow's forecast, cloudy skies, and not as warm as today. Looking at scattered flurries, 23 degrees. The extended forecast calling for flurries, again, possible on Thursday and Friday, with cloudy skies Saturday and Sunday, and mostly cloudy skies on Monday. And then also looking at temperatures, once again, above normal. In fact, the daytime highs will be right around the 20-degree mark each day, except dropping down to the single digits by next Monday. Overnight lows right around 5 degrees above zero each night.
I cannot with this. Like, that is so crazy.
It is. It's really
5
unusual.
degrees above, 20 degrees.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
this
thankfully,
is awesome.
no freezing rain on the roadways, and that was I was kind of worried about that today. But
There is an advisory in effect, though.
To the north.
To the north of
of
us.
the Fairbanks area.
So.
And don't forget, in 1934, it was 65 below here.
That's true. It could always
Well,
be worse.
hey, I'm glad I wasn't around back then. Speaking of being around, we'll have that Nanic corner for you in New Center Final. So don't worry about that.
Good.
You'll see more about the women's basketball.
Another chance.
I'll be back here to watch it.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. That will wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We are glad you could join us.
Tonight on NBC Nightly News, a boy helps his brother with cerebral palsy take on wrestling. That's next with Brian Williams.
That's a nice story. Join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at webcenter11.com.
Well, it's here at the News Center. Have a good night. See you at 11.